the House yesterday. Notice was taken at 14:33 hours that the quorum had not been formed, and Madam Speaker ordered the bells to be rung. House counted, and quorum having been formed, business commenced.
Madam Speaker did make some announcement. She did recognize the presence in the public gallery of two members of public from Nkema Parliamentary Constituency in Western Province. And so, Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomed the visitors to the National Assembly.
The other announcement that was made by the Right Honourable Madam Speaker was to inform the House that approval had been granted for the Catholic Church to hold Mass with Catholic members of Parliament and staff on Wednesday today, the 18th February 2026 in the amphitheatre here at Parliament Buildings. And Madam Speaker stated that the Mass would be held in commemoration of Ash Wednesday, an annual religious activity that is signalled the commencement of 40 days of prayer, fasting and almsgiving leading up to Easter.
And so, Madam Speaker further informed the House that attendance was voluntary and not restricted to members of the Catholic Church. She encouraged all honourable members and staff to attend the event, which would take place between 12:30 and 13:55 hours.
The other announcement that was rendered on the floor of the House by the First Deputy Speaker was to recognize in the presence in the public gallery of staff from Kaoma Town Council, led by Council Secretary in Kaoma District. And Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, did warmly welcome the guests to the National Assembly.
After those announcements, 3 urgent matters without notice were raised. This follows the urgent matter without notice understanding order 142. The first one did come from Mr. J. Chibuyo Ron on the subject matter, the disturbances caused by prolonged fireworks during the Chinese New Year celebrations on Monday, 16th February 2026, and this particular urgent matter without notice was inadmissible.
Claudette, another matter which was inadmissible came from Mr. Anthony Mumba, who is a Kantanshi Member of Parliament. This one was on the measures being taken to ensure mining safety at Mopani Copper Mine following a mine accident that occurred on Tuesday, 13th January 2026.
And the last urgent matter without notice did come from Mr. Kasandwe on the deplorable state of the Kapata-Katansha Road in Bangwaulu Parliamentary Constituency, and this urgent matter without notice was inadmissible. So those were the 3 urgent matters without notice that were raised yesterday.
And the House did consider 4 questions for oral answer understanding Order 80, and these are question 180 to 193, 195 to 199, and the notice was taken at 15:48 hours that the quorum had collapsed, and Madam Speaker ordered the bells to be rung and House counted, and the quorum having been formed, business resumed.
And the questions for oral answer number 194, understanding Order 80, the member being absent, the question lapsed, and notice was taken at 17:02 hours that a quorum was not formed, and Madam First Deputy Speaker ordered the bells to be rung, the House counted, and the quorum having been formed, business resumed.
There was a consideration of the Agriculture Credit and Warehouse Receipts Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025, which read the second time and committed to the Committee of the Whole House. And the sponsor of this bill is the Minister of Agriculture, and commit stage to be taken in due course.
And so the House adjourned yesterday, accordingly at 18:05 hours. This business that was transacted on the floor of the House yesterday, Tuesday, 17th February 2026. Time now to look at today's order paper.
If you're following us on our socials, thank you so much. It could be on our Facebook page, and indeed not forgetting our YouTube channel. We're saying thank you so much for being with us here. And Colette, before we look at today's order paper, looking forward to Friday, the Republican President will be here to address the House on the values and principles.
Absolutely, and so we start our live broadcast at about 8:30. The Republican President will be here. I'm sure you've been seeing the promo that we've been running on our station, both radio and television. The President will be here to address, update the nation on the progress made in the application of national values and principles. And so would urge you to make a date with us on Friday at 9:45 hours.
Let's now look at what is expected to be considered on the floor of the House. I know you've been eagerly waiting to know how the order paper for today looks like. We do have announcements, if there will be any, urgent matters without notice, if there will be any, and we expect government bills to be presented. And the first one will come from the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation. I'm sure my colleague will be able to share with you the details of that government bill.
This particular bill is the Water Supply and Sanitation Services Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, which seeks to continue the existence of the National Water Supply and Sanitation Council and redefine its functions, constitute the board of the council and provide for its members, for its functions, among many other functions.
And before we interest you to the questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80, we expect the notice of subject for debate on the motion of adjournment, and it is Kamfinsa Member of Parliament, Mr. Christopher Kangombe, who will move this motion, which is entitled Enforce Section 10(2) of the Geological and Minerals Development Act number 2 of 2025, which requires mining companies to prioritize Zambian citizens during recruitments.
Of course, we have a consideration of two government bills, one coming up at committee stage and the other one at report stage. So the National Payment System Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2025 will be considered at committee stage, and this will be followed by consideration of the Immigration Control Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2025, to be considered at report stage.
Looks like it's a very busy day today because we do have another private member's motion which will come from Kanchivia Member of Parliament, and this is Mr. Sunday Chanda, and it is entitled Establish an Environmental Court within the High Court, urging the House or government to establish an environmental court within the High Court to adjudicate on matters relating to environmental protection, conservation and sustainable resource management.
All right, and so in a few minutes from now, we should be seeing other speakers' procession making its way into the chamber, and as we wait for that, we'll have a look at some of the questions for oral answer under Standing Order number 80 that will be considered. Today, question 200 is expected to come from Mr. Mtsaya Chalo of Chama North. He's going to ask the Minister of Tourism whether the government has any plans to construct modern houses for wildlife officers at the following camps in Chama district, that's Katangalika, Panankunda and Lundu. And more questions will follow, Person.
Definitely more questions will follow. And for now, we'll cross over to the floor of the House for the commencement of today's business. Good afternoon.
Honorable Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Tendency of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We want freedom's side, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us, all our people, join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Television, the bells have been ordered to be rung, which means that there is no quorum. It is a requirement that 1/3 of the total number of members of Parliament be present for any business to be considered on the floor of the House.
And so as soon as the quorum is constituted, business will resume. The House is expected to consider 6 questions for oral answer under Standing Order number 80. We have a private member's motion that's coming from Mr. Chando of Kanchivia. It's titled, Establish an Environmental Court Within the High Court.
And the other one is a notice of subject for debate on the motion of adjournment, which will be moved by Mr. Christopher Kangombe in force section 10 of 2 of the Geological and Minerals Development Act number 2 of 2025, which requires mining companies to prioritize Zambian citizens during recruitment. So once the quorum is constituted, to be able to cross over to the floor of the House for commencement of today's business. Claudette.
2 government bills will be considered on the floor of the House. The first one is the National Payment System Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2025. It will be considered at committee stage. We also have the Immigration Control Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2025, which will be considered at report stage.
And we do have 5 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80.
Question 201 is expected to come from Ms. Halwindi of Akawe Central. She is expected to ask the Minister of Health.
May the honorable members who have obtained credentials to log in virtually, please, can they kindly log in now? We are done. Okay. Okay, thank you. Order, honorable members. Order. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that following the announcement by the Electoral Commission of Zambia that it will conduct countrywide delimitation consultative meetings involving various stakeholders at district level, a considerable number of honorable members approached the office of the clerk seeking maps of their respective constituencies. In order to facilitate honorable members' effective participation in this important exercise, the clerk's office, through the research department, has sourced hard copies of maps for all the 156 constituencies, which have since been deposited in the respective pigeonholes of honorable members. Honorable members who may wish to obtain soft copies of the said constituency maps are advised to visit the research department for assistance. Further, honorable members will recall that when the Electoral Commission of Zambia engaged the National Assembly on the delimitation exercise, emphasis was placed on the critical importance of the process in ensuring equitable representation and clarity in the demarcation of constituency boundaries. In this regard, the consultative meetings are aimed at enabling stakeholders to better understand the current boundaries of constituencies and wards and to provide the necessary input where required. I therefore urge all honorable members to familiarize themselves with the maps and to take keen interest in the ongoing consultative meetings, as the outcomes of this process are of great significance to our constituents and the nation at large. I thank you. Urgent matters without notice. The Honorable Member for Ron.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to raise this urgent matter without notice, which I wish to direct to the Minister of Finance and National Planning. Madam Speaker, last year, the Minister of Finance and National Planning introduced new banknotes on the Zambian market, which have since been running, and he was very categorical in stating that the new currency will be running in tandem or in parallel with the old currency, and he gave a grace period of 1 year, starting last March and ending the 31st March of this year, in which the old currency will cease being legal tender on the Zambian market. Madam Speaker, I am worried that the ministry is so quiet that there is no sensitization that is taking place, knowing that by nature the Zambian people always want to do or rush at the 11th hour to do the inevitables. Madam Speaker, I would want to find out whether the Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning is in order to keep quiet without actually showing the roadmap on how the sensitization is going to go, especially for the people who are in remote areas like Shangombo, Lundazi, Luena, Chadiza, Ikelengi, who might not have this information and might be forced to rush at the 11th hour, which will actually still come back to the minister to consider extending the period of exchanging these banknotes. Madam Speaker, is the Honorable Minister in order not to share the roadmap in which he can also engage the Honorable Members of Parliament to share this information so that we can sensitize the people. There could be people holding these odd currencies in larger amounts who might actually be stuck with the same amount. Madam Speaker, I need your guidance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Ron. The process of exchanging notes is ongoing. But if the Honorable Member would want to hear from the Honorable Minister of Finance, you can put in a question, then the Minister will be able to answer it. I'm just worried whether the Honorable Member has got a lot of old currency on him. On a lighter note, because the way you are looking like, oh, what shall I do with my old currency? No, you can ask, put in an urgent question, then the Honorable Minister will come and explain. The Honorable Member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My urgent matter without notice is directed to the Minister of Science and Technology and the Minister of Labor and Social Security. Madam Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of government the plight of former Zampost workers who are facing serious financial distress due to prolonged delayment by government to pay their terminal benefits. Madam Speaker, most of these workers, former workers, are failing now to meet basic necessities such as putting food on the table for their families, housing, and also medical care. A number of workers have died because of destitution. Madam Speaker, government has made several assurances to say that government was going to pay these workers, but up to now, nothing has happened. So I seek your serious indulgence in this matter so that to avert these workers going to the grave area. I seek your serious indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Chairman North. If I recollect or recall correctly, maybe this is the third time that you are raising this issue. It appears it's not resolved. It keeps coming, but then it doesn't qualify to be raised today as an urgent matter without notice. The Honorable Member for Chairman North is advised to explore other ways within which to bring this to the attention of the Minister of Technology and Science to have the issue addressed. So the matter is not admitted. The Honorable Member for Kafulafuta.
Madam Speaker, I wish to thank you for giving me this opportunity to bring in an urgent matter without notice. Somehow I suspect it might not meet the criteria, but it's a matter that I feel is quite important to be raised. Madam Speaker, the past few days, or rather I would direct this matter to the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. The past few days, I've noticed some activity going on at National Assembly Motel. I've seen some installation of cameras, which I recognized from somewhere where I was exposed to those type of cameras. I'm wondering what the government is trying to achieve by installing cameras at the National Assembly Motel where honorable members.
There's an indication from the Honorable Minister for a point of order. What's the point of order, Honorable
Madam
Minister?
Speaker, I rise on a very serious procedural point of order. Madam Speaker, you are aware that Parliament Motel is part of Parliament, and we cannot discuss matters that involve our affairs in this House. If the Honourable Member has an issue, he can get to the Speaker's office and raise that issue. The rules are very clear. I take that you have taken judicial notice pertaining to our rules and procedures.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that point of order. Actually, I was going to guide the Honorable Member. I just wanted to hear exactly where he was going. But Honorable Member for Kafulafuta, issues relating to installation or dealing with Parliament, we don't discuss them. Those are administrative matters. If you have any concern that you want to raise, the clerk's office is open. My office is open. You can come and we can discuss. But definitely not for public consumption, unless if you want us to switch off the cameras. Yes, please, you can come to my office for a cup of tea. We go to the next, okay. We have exhausted the 3 urgent matters without notice. So that one by the Honorable Member for Zambezi East falls out. So you can think of another one tomorrow. So let's make progress. Presentation of Government Bill, the Honorable Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Madam Speaker, I beg to present a bill titled the Water Supply and Sanitation Services Bill number 2 of 2026. The objects of this bill are to A, continue the existence of the National Water Supply and Sanitation Council and redefine its functions. B, constitute the board of the council and provide for its functions. C, provide for the regulation of water supply and sanitation services. D, provide for the licensing of utilities. E, promote access to sustainable water supply and sanitation services. F, repeal and replace the Water Supply and Sanitation Act of 1997. And finally, G, to provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Let the bill be read the first time.
The Water Supply and Sanitation Services Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026.
The bill stands referred to the Committee on Energy, Water Development and Tourism. The committee is required to submit its report on the bill to the House in due course. Honorable members who wish to make submissions on the bill are free to do so within the program of work of the committee. Questions for answers under Standing Order 80. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. The Honorable Member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 200.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Tourism.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member for Chairman North to ask the Minister of Tourism whether the government has any plans to construct modern houses for wildlife officers at the following camps in Chama District. 1, Katangalika. 2, Mpianakunda. And 3, Lunda. Madam Speaker, in response to the Honourable Member, government prioritizes to construct modern houses for wildlife police officers across the country in order to better their welfare. This includes Katangalika, Mpiana Kunda, and Luda wildlife camps in Chama District. However, this is subject to the availability of funds and support from cooperating partners. In Part B, Madam Speaker, implementation plans is subject to availability of funds. In response to question Part C, the estimated cost of construction of the staff houses in the 3 camps is $32,100,000. In response to Part D, Madam Speaker, regarding what time frame is for the project, subject to availability of funds, such a project would be implemented within a 10-month period. In the last part, Madam Speaker, Part E falls off in view of the response above. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions? The Honourable Member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you, Acting Minister of Tourism, for your responses. Honourable Minister, you are indicating that you have those plans depending on the availability of funds. I think if you took a trip, Honourable Minister, and visited how these wildlife officers are staying, it's quite a very sorry situation. Some of them are staying in grass-thatched houses. That is the situation. Meanwhile, these officers are providing a very, very important service to this nation because the tourism sector contributes a lot to the GDP of this country. Now, if you are not going to prioritize their welfare, then it becomes a challenge. So, Honorable Minister, 32 million kwacha, that's the amount of money you are mentioning here. At least, there will be that relief if our people at least are given a time frame to say, okay, maybe 2020, 2027, 2028, at least that way we'll have something to tell our people. So can you please, Honorable Minister, assure something to our people so that they are motivated? Thank you.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Tourism.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member for that follow-up question. Madam Speaker, before I respond to that particular question, allow me, Madam Speaker, to address a matter that was raised by the Honourable Member from Nkana in my absence yesterday. And I've just heard him make further reference, because yesterday he insinuated that I am the minister wearing a $120,000 watch. I shall write your office, Madam Speaker, to seek serious guidance on a member abusing his privileges of this particular House. Madam Speaker, I thank you. I wish to now address the Honourable Member and say I totally agree with the Honourable Member over his concerns, and government truly does place a high premium on improving the welfare of our officers. And but for the many challenging issues regarding various aspects of budgeting, we as a government are making earnest efforts to ensure that resources are found, and that because of the nature of the sector of tourism, we truly do hope that our cooperating partners can come on board so that housing for our officers indeed is taken care of. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. All the Honourable Members, Lunte, Honourable Member for Lunte and Nkana, please listen to the responses, the questions. Let's have one sitting. The Honourable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, thank you once again for the opportunity to direct a follow-up question to the Acting Minister of Tourism. Acting Minister of Tourism, I am on record on this floor of Parliament discussing the welfare of our wildlife officers at a time they went on a go-slow. I think that should have been a couple of months ago. And paying attention to what Honorable Mutaya Chalo is raising, it's supposed to be, in my view, a package of their conditions of service, their salary as well as proper accommodation. It is one of the issues they actually raised, Madam Speaker, when they went on a go-slow, that apart from not having good conditions of service, I think the quality of their accommodation is quite unacceptable. Based on that background, Acting Minister of Tourism, an assurance was given by the substantive office bearer that comprehensively all conditions will be looked at as once. What assurance are you giving to the Honourable Member of Parliament for Chama as he goes back to the constituency on this particular issue? When do we see this component of accommodation being attended to? Do you intend to give them proper housing allowance so that they find ideal accommodation, or you give a time frame for constructing proper accommodation? Madam Speaker, that is the submission in support of the question from the Honourable Member of Parliament. Thank you.
It's not supposed to be submissions, points of clarification or supplementary questions. So, the Honourable Acting Minister of Tourism.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the Honourable Member for Kamfinsa for that follow-up question. Madam Speaker, we shall not belabor the fact that the condition of housing for our officers, wildlife officers, indeed is a matter for, it's a common knowledge that indeed we have to do something about the condition of housing for our officers. And, Madam Speaker, there is no further assurance that I can give other than to once again restate that government is working in earnest to ensure that necessary funding is found so that we are able to actually nip this problem in the bud. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Kanyama.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much. And Minister, thank you for your... I'm a member.
Oh, the honorable members, please, can we quickly go through the questions so that we make progress?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Minister, it's really important to encourage our officers as they are performing their important, duties, looking at our wildlife. And not only that, you hear about, human-animal conflict, and these are the people that we normally rush to. Sometime last year, the government came up with an initiative where it inaugurated some housing units for the officers, that is in Luambe, where now officers, I believe, they are settled. And that has brought anxiety to other national parks where, they are still waiting. So just a comfort to them. Do we have some time frame through which a number of their housing units will be spread to these other national parks? Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister for Tourism.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you to the Honourable Member for Kanyama for that follow-up question. Madam Speaker, it appears we are going round and round, basically the same type of question. When in my earlier response, Madam Speaker, I spoke about the unique nature of this particular sector and the sacrifices that our people make in order for us to protect wildlife. It is only common knowledge that indeed our cooperating partners such as the Frankfurt Zoological Society and indeed African Parks Network are some of the partners who are committing to join government in trying to see that the plight of housing for our wildlife officers is indeed addressed. And so I think that when we are ready, Madam Speaker, announcements will be made indeed of the commencement of such construction. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The last one, the Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you, Minister, for your responses. Honorable Minister, we have these cooperating partners I've mentioned, like Frankfurt, the Zoological, and other Africa Park, and so on. These cooperating partners are making huge sums of money out of our wildlife. And we have allowed that situation to go on in this country where they are making huge profits, but meanwhile they're not paying back to the communities. Because the conditions of service for these wildlife officers leaves a lot to be desired. So, Honorable Minister, since we are having a challenge now to get funding from the central government, I know that before that we had it was Zambia Wildlife Authority. It was like an institution standing on its own, and it used to make a lot of money. And some of these challenges they are facing were not there. So, do you have intentions of reverting instead of becoming a department at the Ministry of Tourism? Because whatever money they get goes to Control 99, which is very difficult for those wildlife officers to get funding from the government. So don't you think that reverting back to ZAWA is going to sort out these problems so that ZAWA is able to address some of these challenges their officers are facing? I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Tourism.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you to the Honourable Member for that follow-up question. The Honourable Member, Madam Speaker, makes an assertion as though this critical accommodation shortage and also quality of accommodation started yesterday. In fact, this has been a long-standing problem that this administration has inherited. The solution is not to revert to what the Honourable Member may want to suggest. We feel and we are confident that under the current arrangement, we should make a good situation out of, obviously, what is not something that is desired. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. There's an indication for a point of order. What's the point of order, Honourable Member Fonkana?
Madam Speaker, I have sat a few minutes trying to ponder over this matter, and I thought that I could take advantage of a point of order to seek your guidance. The Honourable Minister was responding to the questions being asked, Madam Speaker, has taken advantage of the privilege he has to address matters that are not connected to the conversations we are having. Madam Speaker, he has brought in an item of the reported watch he was wearing worth $120,000, which is not part of the conversation, and it draws me into the subject. Had he sought to write to you, he could have secretly written. Madam Speaker, is a minister in order to use that privilege to score or to settle matters that are not related with parliamentary precedents or procedures? Madam Speaker, because I know I may be suspended because of every time one complains, I get suspended. Is he in order, Madam Speaker, to use that privilege to bring matters that are not connected? Because that watch, Madam Speaker, we are not the ones who bought it for him. It was just reported in the social platforms. Is he in order, Madam Speaker?
Order, honourable members. Honourable Minister was in order because as he was rising to answer the questions, the comment which I heard also was that the reference to the watch. I was actually going to make a comment on it, but I restrained myself to say, don't comment on it. And just like it was God saying, don't comment. Because the minister heard about it, and yesterday it was also reported. It was mentioned by you, Honourable Member Fonkana. You talked about the watch, the $120,000 watch. So the Honourable Minister, this is the first opportunity that he had. He had to bring it to your attention because you keep on talking about the issue. And he has said that he's going to write. So let's leave it at that. I don't know that how much your watch is worth, Honourable Member for Lunte. Is it 2,000 kwacha? In comparison. So let's leave that. The Honourable Minister was in order. Just as a guidance, Honourable members, when we are in the House, order. Let's not order. Let's not attack each other personally about what we have or what we are wearing. Information that you get from social media, most of the time is not even correct. And you use it to attack another honourable member. It's not good. Let's verify before you can attack anyone. So let's leave it at that. The Honourable Minister is obliged to do whatever he wants. He can complain. The complaint will be attended to. And those who are complained against also will complain if they have cause to complain. Let's make progress. We have a lot of work and we want to go through it very quickly. The next question, the Honourable Member for Kabwe Central. Order, Honourable members. If you want to go and talk about the Koroko, you can go. You can go outside and talk about the Koroko.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Question 201.
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Harindi of Kabwe Central would like to find out from Minister of Health, in A, whether the government has any plans to increase the number of radiologists in order to improve access to radiology services in the country. In B, if so, when the plan will be implemented. And in C, if there is no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, in A, indeed, government has a clear plans to increase the number of radiologists in the country with the objective of expanding access to radiology and diagnostic imaging services. As government continues to invest significantly in specialized diagnosis equipment, it is both logical and necessary that we also train radiologists to ensure these investments deliver maximum benefits to our citizens. Madam Speaker, allow me to emphasize that deliberate measures are being implemented to scale up the training and capacity development of specialized health professionals, including not only radiologists, but as well as part of strengthening tertiary and referral health services. In B, Madam Speaker, the plans to increase the number of radiologists and ongoing and being pursued on a rolling basis. This is achieved through structured training and capacity building programs for existing medical personnel. It is important to note that the radiology is a highly specialized discipline, and the training of one requires approximately 4 to 5 of dedicated study and practice. And in C, Madam Speaker, I wish to assure this House that government has plans not only in place, but actively being implemented. We will continue to prioritize the training and deployment of specialists as part of the broader agenda to enhance healthcare delivery. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Kabwe Central.
Thank you so much, Minister, for your response. And I want to recommend the New Dawn government through your ministry for the work you have done to procure a lot of radiological equipment, especially CT scans, where Kabwe Central Hospital is also a beneficiary. But indeed, we have a challenge, Minister, in terms of medical radiologists. You know that for you to have a qualified medical radiologist, it takes about 13 years of training, because one has to be a doctor, 7 years, and then 4 years to do a specialty. So my follow-up question is that, do you have any plans to introduce the straightforward entry training, or to sponsor some outside the country where there's a training where people can do straightforward for maybe for 4 years or 7 years, than waiting to do after 7 years, you do another 4 years. We have a challenge. We find that these machines were procured to have emergency treatment, like we have vascular accident diseases, where somebody, their brain or blood vessel ruptures, and we need a quick diagnosis. But we have a challenge now that after doing the test, you have to send it to Lusaka to do somebody to read who is specialized. So do you have any plans to make sure that maybe do first entry, straightforward entry, or you refer some students that can go and train outside the country where there's straight entry than being a medical doctor first? Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the follow-up question. Currently, we have 5 of them for the whole country. These are doctors, specialists. And currently, we have 12 undergoing training, meaning the government is very active on it. And also, we have 13 applications pending for training. And indeed, we have realized that it's a specialist that requires many staff. As we recruit, we shall continue adding on the numbers. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, the response by the Minister of Health has touched on some of the efforts that government is putting in place. However, Madam Speaker, the reality is that we have very few with that ability because we're looking at a medical doctor. I don't think we're looking at someone who has got 2 years training. We're looking at a specialist. And my question to you, Minister of Health, you know by now the number of health facilities that we have across Zambia. First level, second level, primary health care. What is the policy direction from government on placing these highly qualified experts in the specific health facilities so that, Madam Speaker, we don't lose them to other countries as a result of not having good conditions of service? What is the strategy so that we don't lose these members of staff to other countries where I know that there's a huge demand for this specialty out there? Madam Speaker, that is my follow-up question.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The country indeed requires many specialized doctors in this field. The total number of radiographers in the country, these are technologists, is about 957. But for 957, yes. But for doctors, these are the ones I said, we have 5. And we're increasing the number. There are 12 who are already training. And also, currently, we are processing about 13 applications. But now with this recruitment again, this among these 2,000 and the 2,500, those also will be included. Had this been prioritized before, today we should have been somewhere. But this government, with this visionary thinking, it will prioritize and increase the numbers so that our people don't suffer. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable, okay. Next question, the Honorable next question. The Honorable Member for Kabushi.
Thank you for an opportunity, Madam Speaker. Question 202.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, Member of Parliament for Kabushi Honorable Kanengo asks the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, A, whether government has any plans to allocate alternative land to people who purchased plots and built houses on top of the sewer line between Kabushi Local Court and Kantolomba Sewerage Treatment Plant in Kabushi Parliamentary Constituency. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. C, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, in response to the question raised by Honorable Kanengo, I wish to inform this House that in A, the portion of land in question was administered by unscrupulous people, allegedly believed to be political cadres in the year 2006. The people proceeded to illegally allocate these plots and erect structures along this stretch measuring approximately 2.2 hectares. The erected illegal structures, Madam Speaker, encroached on the sewer line that leads to Kantolomba Sewerage Treatment Plant. Whilst there are no relocation plans that have been arrived at yet, discussions between the Council and the affected households are currently ongoing. The House will be duly informed once these discussions are concluded. In the meantime, the House may wish to know that the sewer line is still in use, and whenever it blocks, Kafubu Water and Storage Company uses a vacuum tanker as a temporary measure to suck out the waste and unblock the sewer line. B, Madam Speaker, once discussions are concluded, the House will be informed accordingly. C, item C does not arise on account of the report submitted at A and B above. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Kabushi.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for the response. Honorable Minister, do your ministry have plans to bring a bill to this House so that when these local authorities are giving building plans. Utility companies like Water Utility and Sanitation and ZESCO are consulted before the building plan is approved. I submit.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member of Parliament asks a very, very, very important question. And this question, Madam Speaker, I would like to really take advantage of it to inform members of the public and obviously warn them as well. Madam Speaker, we've had a lot of problems, first of all in carrying out maintenance works, but more so in expanding our infrastructure, our water and sanitation infrastructure, because the issue of encroachment on land owned by first water utilities or even other providers of these services has been rampant. There are many times, Madam Speaker, when we have projects ongoing and they cannot be completed because the land has been encroached. Madam Speaker, as a Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, in my other jacket now, we are now actively declaring these areas protected areas. Madam Speaker, the situation is so sad that even in recharge areas, there's been encroachment. Those days, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Local Government and Housing through local councils were the ones actively demarcating these portions. But now we have remained with a huge legacy or rich history where a lot of these areas have been encroached. Worse, Madam Speaker, because of climate change and in certain areas we are receiving a lot of rainfall, there's been a lot of blockages, not only of the water courses, but of the sewer lines. So yes, indeed, to answer the question directly now, in fact, the law exists. And what we have started doing now is to prosecute these offenders. Madam Speaker, we are also, you've been engaging the Ministry of Local Government and Housing very, very actively to ensure that they relocate a lot of people who have encroached on these areas. It's a big problem, Madam Speaker, and we call upon this House, all members of the public, members of this House, to help us, because it's becoming increasingly difficult to provide adequate sanitation, water and sanitation services to our people because of this encroachment. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Ron.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. And Honorable Minister, thank you very much for that response. I can see that my question will actually border on two jackets that you're putting on, as the Acting Minister of Local Government and indeed as the Minister of Water. Madam Speaker, this problem is not only prevalent in Kawushi, but it's quite rampant in a lot of constituencies, where you find people, Honorable Minister, not only building on these sewer networks or water pipes, but sometimes even on heavy 11 kV cables, and sometimes even on rail lines. Now, the question is, in your response, Honorable Minister, you indicated that these plots were given by unscrupulous people, underlined. I would want to find out if we are going to actually handle and bring this to an end. What is your ministry doing? Have you allowed or let free these unscrupulous people who actually gave these plots illegally to go scot-free? Or is your ministry making an effort to trace these people so that they can be subjected to that punishment? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you again for that very, very important question. We are working very, very closely with the Ministry of Local Government on this matter. And I can confirm to you that, in fact, we are also in court with a number of people who have encroached these areas. For this particular one, the Ministry of Local Government and Housing has expanded. They are doing everything possible to ensure that these people are relocated. Madam Speaker, let me make it very, very clear to the members of the public that encroachment on these very important areas will not be tolerated. We would rather these people are evicted from these areas, because most of these areas serve the general public. We cannot fail to serve the general public because of a few individuals who have been encroaching on these public areas. So members of the public, please be informed that the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation would demand that these pieces of land are given back to the water utilities to ensure that they save our people. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Kwacha.
I'm grateful, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for the responses that you are providing to this very, very important issue, which do not only affect Kabushi, but it's a countrywide issue, including Kwacha is quite prevalent. And it's unfortunate that service delivery by water utilities companies are being hampered because of this same problem. I would like to find out, Honorable Minister, as you send a strong warning to any perpetrators that may want to build on top of sewer lines or pipes, whether as you bring down these houses, compensation will be affected, or what will happen to those that will be affected. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, let me make it very, very, very clear that these portions of land which have been encroached upon, obviously they've been illegally encroached upon. Let me also make it very, very clear to the people encroaching that we are demanding our land back. As a Ministry of Local Government and Housing, we've made it very, very clear, very, very, very clear to people encroaching on these pieces of land that we will get them back. Most of these encroachments, Madam Speaker, happened many, many years ago, but we cannot relocate these very expensive infrastructure. We cannot relocate this very expensive infrastructure. The solution we have right now is to move these people away from these very important areas. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Namwala, late indication had already moved. You can ask the Honorable Acting Minister outside. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 203.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Mkosa of Chinsali would like to find out from the Minister of Health in A, what the staff establishment for nurses at the Chinsali General Hospital was as of September 2025. In B, how many nurses there were at the hospital as of the date above. And in C, when additional nurses will be provided to the hospital. Madam Speaker, as of September 2025, the approved staff establishment for nurses at Chinsali General Hospital stood at 204. In B, Madam Speaker, during the same period, Chinsali General Hospital had 87 nurses in post. In 87. Madam Speaker, in C, the government is addressing this gap and will deploy additional nurses to Chinsali General Hospital as recruitment continues, starting with the 2025. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for the answer that you have provided. From the answer that you've provided, Honorable Minister, I have noticed that you have said that the number of nurses that are supposed to be at Chinsali General Hospital is 204. Then, the actual number of nurses that are there currently employed, or as at, that's August last year, was 87, a position that has not changed much, I believe, since there has been no recruitment between this period and now. So this speaks to us that we have a shortfall of nurses at Chinsali General Hospital to the number of 117. Now, Honorable Minister, my question is, how do you rate the quality of service that our nurses are providing, considering that there is a very huge shortfall? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the follow-up question. Madam Speaker, the shortfall of nurses is not only experienced in Chinsali, but countrywide. The situation of shortage of medical staff has just started being addressed during the tenure of this government. Had the process continued from the previous governments, today would have sorted out this issue. The whole country, medical staff, the establishment is 151. And we have a shortfall of 94,000. We thank the government of Hakainde Hichilema, the president, at least within 4 years, to manage to employ with this 2,000, 20,000. And efforts are being made to see elsewhere to increase the numbers. It has not been easy, because the same basket, the same Minister of Finance, which has to look at the issue of energy, which people have been talking about. It's the same basket which has been looking at agriculture to pay the farmers. It's the same basket to have to pay for the school children, free education, same basket to increase the CDF. All this has been loaded into one basket. It cannot channel all the resources to one area, health. But in health, we have got an increased budget now in terms of medicines and also the staff. As we go on, the situation will improve. In every recruitment, no place will be left out. But mind you, we are not only looking at nurses alone. We are looking at doctors, radiographers, clinicians, name them. Given room and the fiscal space, this government has got is eager to employ many more for our people in Chinsali, especially to help you, my colleague, my classmate. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chinsali, I was going to move to the next.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I appreciate the answer that has been provided by my learned doctor here, Honorable Muchima, the Honorable Minister of Health. I want to state that it's good that the government has employed, you said 20,000, against the 94,000 that we have as a shortfall in the country. But I feel, Madam Speaker, the ministry can still do more. Look at, for example, the Patriotic Front from 2016 to 2021. In total, the government employed 24,000 nurses. Records are there. The minister can verify at the Ministry of Health. Now, my question, Honorable Minister, is you said that you are looking into this issue, which is a good thing, but I would like to just have a more clear position. When are we likely to have new nurses employed? Of course, it's not just for Chinsali specifically, but it's for the entire country. So when are we likely to have the next recruitment in terms of period? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, my colleague, Honorable Member of Parliament for Chinsali. You are comparing Patriotic Front to UPND. Patriotic Front took 10 years, but UPND under 4 years. And every year, had it not been for the ever burden of the debt, which has been restructured, today would have recruited in hundreds. But it's continuing. This 2025, we are recruiting 2,000. 2026, we are recruiting 2,500. So in total, it will be 4,500. And this will be spread throughout the whole country at district level, depending on how the vacancies and the position the priorities. We shall see, but Chinsali, of course, also gain, whether 1 or 2 nurses, 1 doctor, 2 radiographer, depending. That will be the choice of the people of Muchinga province. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Nkankoyo, is late indication. I had already moved. Private member's motion, the Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for the opportunity. May I seek the permission of the House that I defer the motion to allow for wider consultations, including the judiciary, which is a key stakeholder in this matter. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. So the leave to defer the motion to a later date is granted. Orders. The clerk will now read the orders of the day.
The National Payment System Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2025, committee stage.
The House will now resolve into committee.
The National Payment System Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2025. Clause 1, short title. Any debate, any objection, Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, interpretation. Any debate, any objection, Clause 2 is agreed to. Clause 3, application. Any debate, any objection, Clause 3 is agreed to. Clause 4, administration of act. Any debate, any objection, Clause 4 is agreed to. Clause 5, functions of bank. Any debate, any objection, Clause 5 is agreed to. Clause 6, delegation to agent. Any debate, any objection, Clause 6 is agreed to. Clause 7, appointment of registrar and deputy registrar. Any debate, any objection, Clause 7 is agreed to. Clause 8, national payment system. Any debate, any objection, Clause 8 is agreed to. Clause 9, participation of bank in national payment system. Any debate and objection, Clause 9 is agreed to. Clause 10, payment services. Any debate and objection, Clause 10 is agreed to. Clause 11, prohibition of providing payment service without license. Any debate and objection, Clause 11 is agreed to. Clause 12, name clearance. Any debate and objection, Clause 12 is agreed to. Clause 13, application for license. Any debate and objection, Clause 13 is agreed to. Clause 14, grant of application for license. Any debate and objection, Clause 14 is agreed to. Clause 15, rejection of application for license. Any debate and objection, Clause 15 is agreed to. Clause 16, withdrawal of application for license. Any debate and objection, Clause 16 is agreed to. Clause 17, validity of license. Any debate and objection, Clause 17 is agreed to. Clause 18, display of license. Any debate and objection, Clause 18 is agreed to. Clause 19, variation of terms and conditions of license. Any debate and objection, Clause 19 is agreed to. Clause 20, amendment of license on change of name of licensee. Any debate and objection, Clause 20 is agreed to. Clause 21, surrender of license. Any debate and objection, Clause 21 is agreed to. Clause 22, transfer or assignment of license. Any debate and objection, Clause 22 is agreed to. Clause 23, suspension or cancellation of license. Any debate and objection, Clause 23 is agreed to. Clause 24, duplicate license. Any debate and objection, Clause 24 is agreed to. Clause 25, commencement of business to provide payment service. Any debate and objection? The question is that Clause 25 stands part of the bill. The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
I beg to move that Clause 25 be amended with words as circulated.
The question is that Clause 25 be amended with words as circulated. Any debate, any objection? Amendment is agreed to. Clause 25 as amended. Any further debate? I put the question. The question is that Clause 25 as amended stands part of the bill. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Of the contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Clause 25 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 26, authorization to provide payment service by bank. Any debate and objection, Clause 26 is agreed to. Clause 27, opening or closing of branch of subsidiary. Any debate and objection, Clause 27 is agreed to. Clause 28, representative office. Any debate and objective, Clause 28 is agreed to. Clause 29, designation of payment service providers. Any debate and objection, Clause 29 is agreed to. Clause 30, notice of designation. Any debate and objection, Clause 30 is agreed to. Clause 31, variation or withdrawal of designation. Any debate and objection, Clause 31 is agreed to. Clause 32, prohibition of introducing or making changes to payment services, governance structures, or operations with authorization. Any debate and objection, Clause 32 is agreed to. Clause 33, application for authorization to introduce or make changes to payment services, governance structures, or operations. Any debate and objection, Clause 33 is agreed to. Clause 34, approval of service charges. Any debate and objection? Clause 34 is agreed to. Clause 35, functions of boards. Any debate and objection? Clause 35 is agreed to. Clause 36, meetings of board initiated by bank. Any debate and objection? Clause 36 is agreed to. Clause 37, appointment of director or senior officer. Any debate and objection? Clause 37 is agreed to. Clause 38, reporting obligations of board or director. Any debate and objection? Clause 38 is agreed to. Clause 39, annual declaration of material interests and material relationships. Any debate and objection? Clause 39 is agreed to. Clause 40, disclosure of interest or relationship by director or senior officer in contract. Any debate and objection? Clause 40 is agreed to. Clause 41, suspension or dismissal of director or senior officer by bank. Any debate and objection? Clause 41 is agreed to. Clause 42, false or misleading statement or obstruction. Any debate and objection? Clause 42 is agreed to. Clause 43, fit and proper test requirements for shareholder, director, or senior officer. Any debate and objection? Clause 43 is agreed to. Clause 44, removal of shareholder. Any debate and objection? Clause 44 is agreed to. Clause 45, corporate governance charter. Any debate and objection? Clause 45 is agreed to. Clause 46, ownership of shares by trust. Any debate and objection? Clause 46 is agreed to. Clause 47, ownership and voting control limits. Any debate and objection? Clause 47 is agreed to. Clause 48, anti-competitive practices. Any debate and objective? Clause 48 is agreed to. Clause 49, prohibition of anti-competitive practices. Any debate and objection? Clause 49 is agreed to. Clause 50, anti-competitive agreement or arrangement. Any debate and objection? Clause 50 is agreed to. Clause 51, collateral contracts. Any debate and objection? Clause 51 is agreed to. Clause 52, cohesive behavior. Any debate and objection? Clause 52 is agreed to. Clause 53, prohibition of imposing barriers to switch. Any debate and objection? Clause 53 is agreed to. Clause 54, fair treatment of consumer and charter. Any debate and objection? Clause 54 is agreed to. Clause 55, disclosure of charges and other information. Any debate and objection? Clause 55 is agreed to. Clause 56, regulation of charges or fees. Any debate and objection? Clause 56 is agreed to. Clause 57, data protection and disclosure of information. Any debate and objection? Clause 57 is agreed to. Clause 58, sharing of customer data. Any debate and objection? Clause 58 is agreed to. Clause 59, complaints procedure for consumers. Any debate and objection? Clause 59 is agreed to. Clause 60, ombudsperson for consumer protection. Any debate and objection? Clause 60 is agreed to. Clause 61, control of advertisements. Any debate and objection? Clause 61 is agreed to. Clause 62, prohibition of unfair business practices. Any debate and objection? Clause 62 is agreed to. Clause 63, unfair contract or unfair contractual term. Any debate and objection, clause 63 is agreed to. Clause 64, consumer protection and market conduct retains. Any debate and objection, clause 64 is agreed to. Clause 65, monitoring of market conduct. Any debate and objection, clause 65 is agreed to. Clause 66, presentment of check for payment. Any debate and objection, clause 66 is agreed to. Clause 67, alternative methods of presentment of check for payment. Any debate and objection, clause 67 is agreed to. Clause 68, admissibility of check. Any debate and objection, clause 68 is agreed to. Clause 69, payment system rules. Any debate and objection, clause 69 is agreed to. Clause 70, settlement arrangement. Any debate and objection, clause 70 is agreed to. Clause 71, payment instruction or settlement instruction, finality or correction. Any debate and objection, clause 71 is agreed to. Clause 72, failure to settle arrangement. Any debate and objection, clause 72 is agreed to. Clause 73, collateral. Any debate and objection, clause 73 is agreed to. Clause 74, manner and form of participation in payment system with adequate assets as collateral. Any debate and objection, clause 74 is agreed to. Clause 75, electronic money issuance and circulation. Any debate and objection, clause 75 is agreed to. Clause 76, purchase or redemption of electronic money by agent. Any debate and objection, clause 76 is agreed to. Clause 77, offense under part. Any debate and objection, clause 77 is agreed to. Clause 78, provision of payment aggregation service. Any debate and objection, clause 78 is agreed to. Clause 79, offense under part. Any debate and objection, clause 79 is agreed to. Clause 80, provision of money transfer service. Any debate and objection, clause 80 is agreed to. Clause 81, sending or withdrawal of money by agent. Any debate and objection, clause 81 is agreed to. Clause 82, offense under part. Any debate and objection, clause 82 is agreed to. Clause 83, prohibition of affecting corporate restructuring transaction without approval. Any debate and objection, clause 83 is agreed to. Clause 84, corporate restructuring transaction. Any debate and objection, clause 84 is agreed to. Clause 85, application for approval to effect corporate restructuring transaction. Any debate and objection, clause 85 is agreed to. Clause 86, effect of corporate restructuring transaction. Any debate and objection, clause 86 is agreed to. Clause 87, minimum capital requirements. Any debate and objection, clause 87 is agreed to. Clause 88, undercapitalized payment service provider. Any debate and objection, clause 88 is agreed to. Clause 89, payment service provider incurring large losses. Any debate and objection, clause 89 is agreed to. Clause 90, payment of dividend by undercapitalized payment service provider or payment service provider incurring large losses. Any debate and objection, clause 90 is agreed to. Clause 91, supervisory action by bank. Any debate and objection, Clause 91, is agreed to. Clause 92, grounds for possession of payment service provider by bank. Any debate and objection, Clause 92 is agreed to. Clause 93, notice of taking possession. Any debate and objection, Clause 93 is agreed to. Clause 94, appointment of possession manager. Any debate and objection, Clause 94 is agreed to. Clause 95, petition to minister to constitute tribunal. Any debate and objection, Clause 95 is agreed to. Clause 96, powers and duties of bank on taking possession. Any debate and objection, Clause 96 is agreed to. Clause 97, statement of affairs. Any debate and objection, Clause 97 is agreed to. Clause 98, resolution options. Any debate and objection, Clause 98 is agreed to. Clause 99, establishment of resolution fund. Any debate and objection, Clause 99 is agreed to. Clause 100, effect of possession. Any debate and objection, Clause 100 is agreed to. Clause 101, restructuring or reorganization as resolution option. Any debate and objection, Clause 101 is agreed to. Clause 102, restriction on execution of judgment on payment service provider. Any debate and objection, Clause 102 is agreed to. Clause 103, voluntary winding up. Any debate and objection, Clause 103 is agreed to. Clause 104, surrender of license, notification and repayment after approval of voluntary winding up. Any debate and objection, Clause 104 is agreed to. Clause 105, notification of insolvency proceedings, receivership or business rescue proceedings. Any debate and objection, Clause 105 is agreed to. Clause 106, insolvency winding up or receivership or payment service provider. Any debate and objection, Clause 106 is agreed to. Clause 107, insolvency winding up or receivership of electronic money institution. Any debate and objection, Clause 107 is agreed to. Clause 108, payment instruction, netting or settlement of insolvency, winding up or receivership of payment service provider. Any debate and objection, Clause 108 is agreed to. Clause 109, lodgement of declaration of insolvency, winding up order or order of receivership with bank. Any debate and objection, Clause 109 is agreed to. Clause 110, winding up of payment service provider by bank. Any debate and objection, Clause 110 is agreed to. Clause 111, bank as liquidator. Any debate and objection, Clause 111 is agreed to. Clause 112, customs statement and filing of claims. Any debate and objection, Clause 112 is agreed to. Clause 113, objection of liquidation schedule. Any debate and objection, Clause 113 is agreed to. Clause 114, payments of claims. Any debate and objection, Clause 114 is agreed to. Clause 115, priority ranking of claims. Any debate and objection, Clause 115 is agreed to. Clause 116, insufficient funds for payment of claims. Any debate and objection, Clause 116 is agreed to. Clause 117, reserve account for wound-up payment service provider. Any debate and objection, Clause 117 is agreed to. Clause 118, final distribution in winding up. Any debate and objection, Clause 118 is agreed to. Clause 119, undistributed funds. Any debate and objection, Clause 119 is agreed to. Clause 120, immunity of bank against customer or creditor claims. Any debate and objection, Clause 120 is agreed to. Clause 121, investigations. Any debate and objection, Clause 121 is agreed to. Clause 122, inspection of payment service providers. Any debate and objection, Clause 122 is agreed to. Clause 123, obstruction of investigation or inspection. Any debate and objection, Clause 123 is agreed to. Clause 124, protection of customer funds. Any debate and objection, Clause 124 is agreed to. Clause 125, safeguarding unclaimed customer funds or dormant customer funds. Any debate and objection, Clause 125 is agreed to. Clause 126, unsafe or unsound practices. Any debate and objection, Clause 126 is agreed to. Clause 127, identification documentation for customer due diligence. Any debate and objection, Clause 127 is agreed to. Clause 128, duty to notify. Any debate and objection, Clause 128 is agreed to. Clause 129, duty to report cybersecurity incidents. Any debate and objection, Clause 129 is agreed to. Clause 130, restriction on use of name or symbol of false representation. Any debate and objection, Clause 130 is agreed to. Clause 131, dishonored check or direct debit instruction. Any debate and objection, Clause 131 is agreed to. Clause 132, validity of transactions by payment service provider. Any debate and objection, Clause 132 is agreed to. Clause 133, retention of records. Any debate and objection, Clause 133 is agreed to. Clause 134, documents. Any debate and objection, Clause 134 is agreed to. Clause 135, guidelines for financial innovation. Any debate and objection, Clause 135 is agreed to. Clause 136, guidelines for regulation, supervision, and oversight of financial market infrastructure. Any debate and objection, Clause 136 is agreed to. Clause 137, retains. Any debate and objection, Clause 137 is agreed to. Clause 138, continuing acts or offenses. Any debate and objection, Clause 138 is agreed to. Clause 139, offenses by principal officers of body corporate or an incorporate body. Any debate and objection, Clause 139 is agreed to. Clause 140, general penalty. Any debate and objection, Clause 140 is agreed to. Clause 141, administrative penalty. Any debate and objection, Clause 41 is agreed to. Clause 142, immunity. Any debate and objection, Clause 142 is agreed to. Clause 143, moratorium. Any debate and objection, Clause 143 is agreed to. Clause 144, exemption. Any debate and objection, Clause 144 is agreed to. Clause 145, disputes between payment service providers. Any debate and objection, clause 145 is agreed to. Clause 146, decision of bank and right to be heard. Any debate and objection, clause 146 is agreed to. Clause 147, right of appeal. Any debate and objection, clause 147 is agreed to. Clause 148, constitution of tribunal. Any debate and objection, clause 148 is agreed to. Clause 149, decision of tribunal. Any debate and objection, clause 149 is agreed to. Clause 150, register of payment service providers. Any debate and objection, clause 150 is agreed to. Clause 151, regulatory statements. Any debate and objection, clause 151 is agreed to. Clause 152, regulations. Any debate and objection, clause 152 is agreed to. Clause 153, repeal of Cap 359 and savings and transitional provisions. Any debate and objection, clause 153 is agreed to. Long title. Any debate and objection, long title is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee with amendment. Madam Speaker, I have to report to the House that the Committee of the Whole House has gone through the National Payment Systems Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2025 with amendments.
Order, honorable members, can we follow the proceedings? Day for consideration of the report.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Consideration of the report to be taken tomorrow, Thursday, 19th February 2026. Next order.
The Immigration Control Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2025, report stage.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the report of the committee be adopted.
As no notice has been received by any of any further amendments, is it your will that the report of the committee be adopted? Any objection? I see none. Report adopted. Day for third reading.
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
Third reading of the bill to be taken tomorrow, Thursday, 19th February 2026. Her Honor the Vice President, adjournment.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House now adjourns.
Thank you. Notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, once again, the people of Kamfinsa constituency have the honor to make a few comments on a very important topic. Madam Speaker, as you might be aware, Zambia has been doing mining for the last 90 years. And in the 90 years, Madam Speaker, that we've been doing mining, one of the things that has been adopted from the time the mines were owned by investors to the time when the mines were owned by government and to the time when the mines were owned by the private sector. Madam Speaker, the ministers are walking out to collapse the quorum. Madam Speaker, the ministers are walking out to collapse the quorum.
No, I don't think
it's a strategy, Madam Speaker.
No, they just have something.
They are walking out.
There is an urgent meeting.
Deliberately, they are walking out.
Honorable member, it's me who is informing. Order.
Yes.
There is an urgent.
I've violated the speaker. No one should walk.
Order. The honorable ministers have been summoned for an urgent meeting. So just debate. We still have a quorum. We still have members of honorable members who have joined us virtually. So feel free, proceed with your debate, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this parliament enacted a law in 2019, which is the Employment Code. And this Employment Code, Madam Speaker, is very clear. The law is very clear, Madam Speaker, under Section 14. Section 14 of the laws of Zambia, Madam Speaker, demand that when there's an opportunity to employ an individual, any institution in Zambia should give first priority to a Zambian. Madam Speaker, the Employment Code was enacted here in 2019. It's an existing law. The second law that we've enacted as Parliament, Madam Speaker, is the Geological and Minerals Development Act, which was enacted in 2025, Madam Speaker, which law demands that when there's an opportunity for a mining company to employ an engineer, when there's an opportunity, Madam Speaker, for a mining company to employ an accountant, when there's an opportunity to employ any field of skill that is needed in a mining company, the laws of Zambia, Madam Speaker, and this Parliament is the custodian of these laws, demand that first priority should be given to a Zambian. Today, Madam Speaker, I stand here to demand that we need to begin enforcing the law that is provided for under these two provisions. And the reason is very simple, Madam Speaker. We already have the law in place. We already have two wonderful pieces of legislation. And I stood here, Madam Speaker, for the 2025 law. I supported when I stood here a year ago, Madam Speaker, that this is a wonderful piece of legislation. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, the reports that are still coming from various mining companies, the communication that is coming from fellow engineers, the communication that is coming from people in procurement, Madam Speaker, is that when these opportunities for employment arise, unfortunately, Zambians are not being given first priority. We have a group of Zambians that are well qualified, Madam Speaker. Some of them have been employed at senior assistant engineer level. Others are employed at section engineer level, Madam Speaker. But you find that an expatriate is brought in to come and supervise these Zambians that are well qualified. And I want to be put on record, and I'm happy that the substantive Minister of Mines is present. Madam Speaker, ZCCM, which was the holding institution for mining companies in Zambia, had adopted a very comprehensive training program. You come out of university, Madam Speaker, the first thing that mining companies used to do was to put you on a very comprehensive training program. Because when you come out of university, Madam Speaker...
Sorry, Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, order. Just a moment. Order. Honorable members that are logged in virtually, please can you have your cameras on? We want to, because right now the quorum has collapsed. We want to see if you are logged in so that you assist us with the quorum. We have honorable members, 14 honorable members that have logged in. Please, can you put your cameras on?
Necho bale fumi na shishi. Because tule sumi nishani. Tule sumi nishani.
Welcome back, maybe the answer.
Yes, it is actually straightforward.
We need 5 more honorable members. At the rate we are going, this was supposed to take 30 minutes. Now we are delaying ourselves.
This was a strategy.
We have the quorum. Okay, so we have the quorum. The honorable member for Kamfisa, you may continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was trying to build a case, and the case is very simple. This Parliament has enacted very good pieces of legislation. We've done very well, Madam Speaker, in terms of whether Zambians should be given first priority or not. The laws are very clear, and I cited the 2 pieces of legislation. The 2019 Employment Code, Madam Speaker, under Section 14. I also cited the Geological and Minerals Development Act, Madam Speaker, under Section 10. The laws are very clear, Madam Speaker. However, despite us having these wonderful pieces of legislation, there's something that we've not been able to do. And what we've not been able to do, Madam Speaker, is to ensure that we comprehensively enforce what is written in the law. The law is basically saying that if a mining company like Mopani Copper Mines is looking for an engineer to work in the concentrator, Madam Speaker, the advert should be very exclusive that only a Zambian engineer should work in that concentrator. The laws of Zambia, Madam Speaker, and we are custodians of that law, is stating very clearly that if First Quantum Minerals is looking for an accountant, Madam Speaker, to do cost accounting for FQM, Kalumbila and Kansanshi, the law that we passed here, Madam Speaker, is very categorical. Give that job opportunity to a Zambian, because that is what is written in the law. And I was emphasizing, Madam Speaker, a very valid point, that ZCCM, where all these mining companies are coming from, had a very wonderful training program. You come out of CBU, you come out of the University of Zambia, Madam Speaker, for a period of over 18 months. They'll take you around all the shafts that are available, for instance, at Mopani. I had the privilege of working for Mopani, Madam Speaker. I went through all the mining shafts, and that program has been there for the last 30, 40 years. Meaning, Madam Speaker, that in terms of preparing Zambians for these job opportunities, Madam Speaker, systems are in place. Zambians are now well equipped in terms of skills. Zambians now understand modern mining. Madam Speaker, if we need a geologist in Zambia, we have well-qualified Zambian geologists. And today, Madam Speaker, I'm asking government, Madam Speaker, the conversation today is that can we enforce what is written in the law? The motion of adjournment, Madam Speaker, has a word which I want to underline, enforcement. Enforcement simply means put the instruments in place. Ensure that when an opportunity arises in Solwezi and there's a job opportunity for an engineer, Madam Speaker, systems must prove that a Zambian was given the opportunity and there was no one who had the skills. But currently, Madam Speaker, we have expatriates doing jobs that Zambians can do. And I'm asking myself, what is the purpose of us enacting these nice pieces of legislation when we know, Madam Speaker, that we will not ensure that Zambians are given first priority? Today's debate, Madam Speaker, I want to simplify it because I want people out there to understand what we are discussing. We are not asking, Madam Speaker, that we come up with another law. Madam Speaker, we are not asking that we start going around doing consultations on whether this should be enacted. That job was already performed by this Parliament. We supported when the law came for debate. I stood here, Madam Speaker, proudly defending Zambians who have the skills. The law is very categorical. You run an advert for the Zambian. If they don't have the skills, Madam Speaker, extend that opportunity to an expatriate. That is what the law says. And today, I'm asking that even as we comment on this particular topic, the energy should be directed towards what instruments are in place. What have we done to ensure that if we did an audit today, because, Madam Speaker, we need to do an audit. We need to go to every mining company, Madam Speaker. Let's start with China Luansha Copper Mines in Luansha. Let's go department by department. I worked at Baluba Shaft, Madam Speaker, in Luansha. We need to go to Baluba. You know the mine has been closed. Let's go to Muriashi. Let's go and count how many expatriates are there. Did we comply with the law before we gave those expatriates the work permit? Before we gave those expatriates all the documents they need to work? Did we give that job opportunity to a Zambian before we extended the opportunity to the foreigner? Madam Speaker, that is the conversation today. Let's go and do an audit at Munali Nickel Mines in Mazabuka. How many expatriates are there? Let's go to First Quantum Minerals, Kalumbila, Trident. Let's go and do an audit. Let's find out how many expatriates, Madam Speaker, are taking jobs for our Zambian people. When we have a beautiful law, we have a law in place, Madam Speaker, and today the demand is very simple. Whatever justification is there for us to have an overloaded number of expatriates, today we want to hear what government is doing to ensure that this anomaly is attended to. There's a serious problem, Madam Speaker. The law is in place. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker, we still have expatriates. An expatriate is someone who has extraordinary skills, skills you can't find anywhere. That's an expatriate. Someone who specialized in the geology that our engineers can't do. We have the School of Mines at UNZA. They prepare some of the best geologists in Zambia. Why do we have foreigners doing geology when we can do that, Madam Speaker? That is the submission from the people of Kamfinsa, Madam Speaker, speaking on behalf of Zambians that are asking, when do we implement the law ensuring that Zambians are given first consideration when we are rendering employment opportunities? That is my submission, and I hope that everyone who will comment will be mindful that we have got two laws in place that need to be enforced. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Chawama.
Madam Speaker, I'm ready to give my maiden speech, and thank you for the opportunity. Madam Speaker, I rise with profound gratitude, humility, and of course honor to deliver my maiden speech in this august house. I am sincerely thankful to you for according me this opportunity to address this distinguished house. This means a lot to me. First and foremost, I give thanks to the Almighty God for His grace, guidance, protection, and wisdom through the by-election period. Madam Speaker, this was a marathon. The journey was demanding, but through faith and perseverance, we stand here today. Madam Speaker, I am deeply indebted to the resilient and hard-working people of Chawama constituency for the confidence and trust they have placed on me in electing me as a member of parliament for that very important constituency. That is on 15th January 2026. And therefore, I don't take this mandate lightly. I therefore pledge to serve them with diligence, with absolute faithfulness, accountability, and to ensure that their voices are effectively represented in this august house. Madam Speaker, allow me also to extend my sincere appreciation to FDD and PF, and of course the entire Tonse Alliance for their support and confidence in my candidature. Their encouragement and solidarity contributed significantly to this sweet victory. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to single out some few people that worked tirelessly with passion, confidence, order, and sanity. Honorable Given Luvinda, I appreciate him, number one. Number two, Honorable Chifumbanda, the president for FTD. Number three, Honorable Chishimba Kamwiri, my director, Honorable Mao Sampa, and of course, my campaign manager, Lawrence Charwe. I also wish to thank and commend my predecessor, Mr. Sila Lungu, for the commendable and dedicated services rendered in Chawama constituency. She undertook very significant developmental initiatives, and I appreciate the foundation that she has firmly laid in that very important constituency which belongs to Lusaka province. Madam Speaker, I commit myself to ensure and continue with the legacy that Honorable Tasila Lungu left for the people of Chawama constituency. And I don't take this lightly. Madam Speaker, in a very special way, in a very magnificent way, splendid way, I want to thank my beautiful, loved wife, and of course the entire family for their unwavering support, sacrifice, and encouragement from the day of my adoption up to the time I was declared as a winner for Chawama constituency. There was maximum support from my wife and the entire family. I commend them. Madam Speaker, I also want to express my gratitude to all the candidates that took place and took part in Chawama by-election. Their supporters, and indeed the people of Chawama, and all the stakeholders for maintaining peace and harmony throughout the campaign period and after. This was a true reflection who we are as Zambians. In this regard, I say thank you to all, and let us keep this spirit of love, peace, and unity as Zambians. For those that read scriptures, the Bible says, where there's unity, God commands a blessing. As a member of parliament, I pledge, therefore, to working tirelessly to bring meaningful and sustainable development to our Chawama constituency and the nation at large. I assure the people who elected me that I will not, at any given time, to betray them. I will display complete and absolute level-headedness. Madam Speaker, Let me now turn to the development agenda for Chawama constituency. My development priorities for Chawama constituency are as follows. Number one, I will first foster unity and inclusiveness among our people. I want to blend the entire constituency. Like I mentioned previously, I don't want to see a pedigree of people that will segregate us. It is one Zambia, one nation, one Chawama, one people. Chawama is home to citizens from diverse backgrounds. And therefore, Madam Speaker, it is imperative that every resident feels a sense of belonging and ownership in that constituency. In the spirit, I want to repeat this, in the spirit of our national motto, one Zambia, one nation, we must equally embrace one Chawama, one people. Number two, I will place strong emphasis on the human element of development by empowering women, the youths, and persons with disabilities who remain central to my agenda. I will further encourage economic empowerment through skills development and offer support for cooperatives, the small-scale businesses, as these are critical to building an inclusive and self-reliant community. Number three, I will facilitate the coming up of urgent, lasting solutions to the persistent problem of flooding in areas such as Cook, Mrs., and of course, the surrounding communities. Madam Speaker, this issue is still so prone, and people are still wading in waters. I will therefore work closely with relevant authorities to strengthen drainage systems and implement sustainable food and, of course, flood mitigation measures. I will ensure that the completion of key infrastructure projects currently underway, including the maternity annex at Chawama Level 1 Hospital, the drainage system, school infrastructure, road paving projects, these should be completed. I am aware, Madam Speaker, that I only have about 100 days plus, but I'll make it certain that these are completed. Access to quality health care, education, proper infrastructure is essential to the welfare of our people. Number five, I will prioritize the installation of security lights in various parts of the country and the constituency to enhance safety and reduce crime. This is very critical to me, Madam Speaker. Number six, I will explore sustainable development opportunities around the Blue Water Dam. This is what we call Nangwenya Dam. This dam, Madam Speaker, has killed a number of people in that constituency, and therefore no one finds pleasure in anyone losing life. Every single life is precious before the Lord. This, I will do it by attracting investment for structured development, such as hospitality facilities, and of course, regulated recreation activities. Through this initiative, we can enhance safety, create employment, and unlock economic potential for our people. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, with determination, commitment, and passion, I am confident, and of course vigilance, that Chawama constituency will reach greater heights of development. The by-election that was not merely a political event, but it was a renewed call to service and responsibility. This is very critical to mention. Madam Speaker, it is now time to work, and together the people of Chawama will work. With these few remarks, Madam Speaker, I humbly thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we continue with the adjournment. When we were still within. The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Services.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the motion under discussion. Madam Speaker, the requirement, I'll just delve into the topic and the motion to alert the member, to explain to the member, to assure him that the requirement to prioritize Zambian citizens in employment within the mining sector is consistent with a broader legal framework governing employment in the country. In particular, Madam Speaker, Section 14 of the Employment Code Act, number 3 of 2019 clearly provides that, subject to other provisions of this Act relating to the employment of an expatriate, an employer shall, in filling an employment vacancy, employ a citizen except where a citizen does not possess the skills required for that job, or a citizen does not apply for the job. Madam Speaker, this provision places a statutory obligation on the employers, including mining companies, to give first consideration to Zambian citizens when filling positions or vacancies, and only resort to expatriate recruitment where there is a demonstrable skill gap or absence of suitable citizen applicants, while at the same time facilitating skills transfer to Zambians. Of course, that is succession planning to ensure that our people are moving in tandem with an expatriate where such has been put in place. As the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, we are enforcing this requirement through labour inspections, Madam Speaker. Compliance monitoring is undertaken and review of recruitment practices within the mining companies like all other sectors. Further, in line with Section 62 of the Act, enforcement of citizen prioritisation is strengthened through collaboration with the Department of Immigration under the Immigration and Deportation Act number 18 of 2010. The Department of Immigration plays a critical regulatory role in the issuance of employment permits to non-citizens. Before an employment permit is granted, Madam Speaker, employers are required to demonstrate that efforts were made to recruit suitably qualified Zambians and that the skills required are not available, readily available locally. Madam Speaker, this ministerial coordination between immigration at Ministry of Home Affairs and Home Security and Labour ensures that employment of expatriates is properly controlled and aligned with national labour laws and policies. In short, Madam Speaker, government is already enforcing the provisions of the law which requires mining companies to prioritize the employment of citizens of Zambia during recruitment. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Minister of Labour, and thank you to the mover of the motion. Madam Speaker, what I would like to say is that this government realized the importance of making Zambia a priority in terms of employment in the mining sector. And that is why, when we finished the resuscitation of the sector, we also looked at the fact that we need to give Zambians priority in terms of jobs. I'll give just a snapshot of the statistics where we stand today in terms of local employees in the mining sector. I'll give a general percentage. As we stand today, 97%, Madam Speaker, of all employees, both contractors and direct employees in the mining sector are Zambians. Only 3% are expatriates. That is indicating that this government is very serious with enforcing what is in the Geological and Minerals Development Act. Madam Speaker, anywhere in the world, 97% is a very high percentage. So I just want to assure the honorable member that there is no dragging of feet, or we have not grown cold feet in terms of implementing the laws that we ourselves thought it was prudent that we put them in place. Because they weren't in place, Madam Speaker. It is this government that has put a legal framework, because we just didn't want, Madam Speaker, to be shouting on the rooftop for people to employ Zambians. As it stands right now, it is very difficult for any foreigner, Madam Speaker, to get employment permit if the job that they are coming to do in Zambia can be done by a Zambian. It is almost coming to impossible under this government. And that's why figures don't lie, Madam Speaker. We are at 97%. So through this motion, I want to assure the Zambians that your president has instructed that we put this in the law. We compel the mining companies. And Madam Speaker, to making sure that there is enforcement, the Ministry of Labor, ourselves, the Ministry of Home Affairs, we are working together to make sure that this is followed to the latter. And Madam Speaker, as a ministry, we have gone ahead to even put in place a regulator, the MRC. One of the things that they will be doing is to check compliance on local content. Local content includes jobs for our local people. And 97%, no one can fault this government that we are not implementing this regulation. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. As the 30 minutes allocated for debate on the subject for debate on the motion of adjournment has been exhausted, debate on the subject lapses. The House is now adjourned.
Well, thank you so much for still staying with us on Parliament Television. The House has adjourned till tomorrow at 14:30. And Claudette, we still have the Committee on Local Government Accounts still sitting at this particular time.
Absolutely. So just about now, we cross over live to the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Good afternoon.
Management wishes to report that the residual... I also wish to guide you to the Appendix 6 as well as the Addendum Appendix 6. Remedial measure. Going forward, Council management will continue to engage the bank on full disbursement of funds to beneficiaries. Appendix 2.5, Total Unspent Funds, Administrative Costs. Management response. Management acknowledges observations made by the Office of the Auditor General with regard to 100% utilization of Constituency Development Fund administrative component. Going forward, Council management will continue to utilize funds within the financial year. Appendix 3, Community Projects. Management response. Management acknowledges